morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of support and healing. Oh, here she is. She was laying in a sunbeam and she got trapped in here while I do my video. This is Miss Puss, and I'm here to, well, it's a countdown, 5 days to go until my 12-hour healing event on Monday for the new moon solar eclipse. So very excited to be here. But I think for the last I can't remember not doing this. So usually for the 12-hour healing events, when they're coming up, I do 5 days before support videos as a countdown. The cat is rubbing herself on my tripod here. So that's why I'm here. So it's quite exciting to get to this point, to now know that we're 5 days to go to the healing event. So this is for those of you joining me for the healing event, but also for those of you who aren't, if you would like to sort of connect in as we prepare. What I find and have found for a very long time, that the more we prepare for something, then the deeper we can go with that particular experience. So that's the aim for this particular connection. So I'm very much drawn to it being the turning point. So I think my connection dropped. But anyway, this is the turning point. I'm very much drawn to the turning point today. Why? Because it's 10 years today since I had a turning point for myself and for Temple of Balance. And it's where I took my free reports that I was doing a lot of and turned them into a membership, into my Pillar of Light membership. And that was a huge turning point and a huge risk for me at that time. And I remember still as clear as anything, the vision I had was me like I was carrying a nest. And this nest, and I still use it to help me today, is the phrase tending to the nest. So tending to the things that are important to me and the things that feel important. It's, tricky when you're doing something like I do here at Temple of Balance. There's, always people saying you should do it this way, you should do it that way. And maybe for the first couple of years, perhaps I listened, maybe not, I don't really know. But I certainly reached a point where I certainly realised that I have to do Temple of Balance my way. So like when I'm pulling cards, I used to have people tell me I was pulling my cards wrong and that I wasn't selecting the cards properly. But that's not true because I was doing it the way that was right for me. So what I learned over the years of being here at Temple of Balance for 19 years now is that I have to do it and I have to honour my way. And there are going to be people who don't agree and don't think I'm doing it right. Well, that's their problem. So when I visualised taking Temple of Balance to the next level 10 years ago, and I actually visualised myself as a rabbit for some reason, and a rabbit I feel is a symbol of fertility and creativity and also hopping forward. And I felt like I was carrying this nest, and this nest I was creating. This is Temple of Balance that I'm creating as a nest. And the nest, I'm responsible for the nest. So the nest is the place that I'm creating. It's what I'm sharing. It's what I'm doing. It's basically, it is Temple of Balance. And then it's up to the individual like you to get into the nest if you want to receive something here, or go out of the nest if you're done. Some people stay in the nest for years and years. Some people have been here since the beginning for 19 years. And some come, some go. Some stay a very short time. Some pop in and see and it's not for them, so they jump out. That's fine. And this gave me a lot of, I think it actually took me to a new level of acceptance and confidence within myself that if I just tend to the nest, that's all I need to be focused on. It's not my job to try and keep people here. It's not my job to pin you down and try and force you to stay. And it's not my job to be influenced by those in the nest who have their own way and their own viewpoint and their own method of doing things. I have to create this nest based on what I feel is right. So this was huge for me, and it's still a huge memory for me, even now it's 10 years ago, that, to take my free reports to a membership, even though it was only $8 a month back then, $8 Australian dollars a month, that met with some resistance from people who were getting it for free, and they didn't want to join me in the nest. They didn't want to exchange such a small amount for the reports that I was creating and all the energy I was investing in that endeavour. So I have no regrets at all, but I know it did stir some people up the wrong way, and they left Temple of Balance because of it. There was probably only a handful, really, of loud people with that, but more people have got on board than jumped out, I would say. So now 10 years strong, Pillar of Light it hasn't probably changed a lot, but it has, let's say, nice foundations. It feels like it's been created. So I'm very much inspired by that memory that's come up today and this turning point energy. And it's funny because this morning I also pulled a card from my healing energy cards, which was the turning point. So I feel that this particular 5 days to go is about the turning point. So what have been turning points in your life that you look back on? And also, where are you at in regards to a potential turning point now in your life? Are you turning into something? Are you turning out of something? I don't think I've got any viewers, so Facebook, please let people know that I'm live. That would be great. If not, I suppose everyone will be watching the replay. So I'm going to be using my healing energy cards, and I want to look for the best card that we need as we go towards this 5 days to go. I want to find the best card for that, and then I'm going to play the singing bell for a few minutes, and then I'm going to pull a card to go. So I guess this is coming through loud and clear on the replay. This is definitely a first, that there are no live viewers, with over 500,000 followers on my Facebook page. So, I've got someone here, Loretta. So maybe I'm not seeing numbers. Let me know if you can see me. Okay, maybe I have got viewers and Facebook's not letting me know. Hi, Sasha. Oh, Marjorie's here too. Okay, I apologise, Facebook. You're just glitching out on the numbers. So, Teresa's here too. Okay, excellent. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need in relation to 1, 5 days to go, and 2, the turning point. What do we need to know around this? What do we need to further explore around this? And the best healing energy card for this turning point is from the second deck, Healing Energy Cards, Deck 2, and it is Soften Harshness, card 89. It's in the rest category here, and it says, stop thinking the worst. You know, that is really interesting, because how can this be a turning point in our life if we're thinking the worst? Then we're going to be thinking low and heavy and perhaps scared of whatever is wanting to shift in our life, instead of riding the updraft into the turning point. We have to let this be a turning point. Otherwise, it's not going to be a turning point. It's just going to be another dreary, old, depressive day. So we have to be proactive in letting things switch and letting things turn, letting the tables turn, letting ourselves move out if we're in a crossroads, to actually choose a new path now. We have to have the courage and the confidence and the willingness to do that. Otherwise, it's just another bad day. So can this become a turning point for you? Can you stop thinking the worst and start thinking that, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for me to turn things around, to get back on track, to lift the ante, to up the ante in my life, to take things to a new level, to stop wallowing and stop rolling around in the mud and the ashes, like I have been perhaps for the last 5, 10, 20 years? Do I want to be in that same place in another 5, 10 or 20 years if I even live that long? Like, life is short. Let's seize the moment and look at how we can shift our attitude around and start looking at the glass half full instead of the glass half empty. Hi, Rhonda. So, stop thinking the worst. That's a key to the turning point. Find a solution for the disruption. Being solution orientated, optimistic, hopeful. This is also how we see the potential turning point in the problematic situation we're going through. It says settle conflicts, a resolution, hope, gentleness, soften the sharp edges, and calm down. Calm down. So, break down. Last week I did a video, I can't remember which one it was, but it wasn't the last one, maybe the second one or the third one I did ago. And I talked a lot about breakdown leading into breakthrough. There's a turning point in that. So what I've noticed in reflection and what I've heard from people is a lot of people reach breakdown and they haven't gone to breakthrough yet. And this is the turning point, isn't it? Like, if things are breaking down and we can't get much lower in our life, although just when we think things can't get much lower, they could still get much lower. There's still lower we can go if we don't let this be the switch and the moment where we can turn things around and break through, like the phoenix rising from the ashes of its predecessor. And so really, you know, like, breakthrough comes from breakdown, but it really has to be up to us to turn things around. So this feels very important at this time. So can we soften our attitude? Can we soften the harshness? Can we not settle in the breakdown? You know, sometimes we get a bit comfortable there, even though it's dark and depressive and awful, that, well, we know it and maybe it's more comfortable than pushing ourselves and pushing through. Maybe we don't know how to take that next step, and maybe we just need to do something radical. When I'm feeling like that, I don't tend to get that low, but when I'm feeling low in my terms, from my perspective, I tend to be a rebel, and I just want to break out of the prison. I just want to push through with something, and I try something rebellious. I try something crazy. I try something just to break that dark shell that can feel like it's around us. So what can you do? What needs to shift? What is the shift in attitude that you need to find so you can enter the turning point and turn breakdown into breakthrough? So I'm going to be playing my Tibetan singing bell, which I haven't played for a while, but I've taken the ringer out and I'm holding it this way. And I'm just going to play it for a few minutes. It's very high pitched, so it might be a bit grinding for some, and maybe that's a good thing to sit with, because, you know, that could be that breakdown energy, that harsh energy that we've been in, that we're not letting ourselves get out of. Sometimes we need something uncomfortable to switch and shift us. So I suggest that you try and push through listening unless it's absolutely unbearable, and I won't do it for too long. So maybe this can be the turning point for you. So nice big breath. You know, it's interesting too, you know, the circle of the bell here as things turn, you know, things turn around. So maybe, like for me, what I'm doing, so this is 5 days to go video. Tomorrow I'll be back for 4 days to go, then 3, 2, 1, and then we'll do the event. So for me, I'm looking at contemplating and sitting in the energy of whatever the day is. So for me, I'm going to be holding in and really contemplating and feeling on this energy of the turning point for me from now till tomorrow. So for about the next 24 hours. And I'm going to be really looking seriously, like seriously from myself, at aspects of my life perhaps I've been complaining about or become too content with, or that might be holding me back. I can't think of the top of my head anything that's doing that at the moment, because I tend to shift things as the issues come up. But I do want to seriously think about it and make sure that I am in the clearest, most proactive and honest space that I can be in, moving forward in my personal life and moving forward through this countdown. If you just joined in, I was playing the singing bell with this card, Soften Harshness, and this being a key element of the turning point, and how, yes, turning points can just sort of be automatic, but I think actually it's more likely that we choose that this situation is the turning point. We choose to stop settling for less. We choose to get out of the rubble and get out of the depressive, dark hole that we've been in, that we have to cast ourselves a lifeline, and that can then become the turning point for us. And yes, there can be things that trigger the turning point, but we still have to be willing and ready and courageous enough to take that lifeline, to follow that lifeline out of that dark hole and that dark place that perhaps we've been in. Or if we've been in it for longer than 3 days, that is way too long. Like, honestly, I could not be in that place for any longer than 3 days. And even if I feel like I'm going there, I've got to get myself out. I've got to create lifelines for myself, because I know how hard it is to get out when we're down in a dark, deep place. And it takes a lot more effort and a lot more energy to get out of the really, really dark pits of places that we can go to. It's easier to recognize the tip and do something about it as quickly as possible. So, yeah, and if I'm feeling like that for 3 days, I'm out. I've got to shake myself out of it, and I can tend to do that. So thank you for joining me today. I'll be back again tomorrow in about 24 hours for 4 days to go. In the meantime, I encourage you to consider the turning point and what this means for you. I also encourage you to have a look on my website, templeofbalance.com.au, and look at the 12-hour healing event if you would like to dive deeper into these sorts of energies for a roughly 12-hour period, and see where that journey takes us. Our theme is Creativity Shadow. So we're going to be looking at how we can access every potential within us. So please join me for that if you'd like to. I'm looking for the best card now to take us over through this next 24 hours. What do we need to know about this next 24 hours as we prepare to move to the 4 days to go? But I'm not getting ahead of myself. There's still 24 hours to go yet. So, Healing Energy card, deck 1. And we've got Breaking Free. So this is very interesting. Card 41. It's in the Rise category. And down here it says, stretch past your limitations and move into new territory. The unknown. Listen to this. Break through. Move outside the box. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. I mean, we could not have picked a more perfect card than this, Breaking Free. This is breaking free of the breakdown, of the darkness, of the heaviness, of the restraints, of the restrictions that we've put onto ourselves. This is stretching and pushing and breaking through and breaking free. So this card reminds me, the visual of it is like, you know, when we've got a baby growing in a womb and it's got plenty of room to move at the beginning, and then as it gets towards the end of its gestation and its growth in the womb, the space gets very cramped. So then the baby needs to leave the cramped place because it wants to keep growing. It wants to grow into an adult. It wants to stretch out into the world, hopefully. But there's no room anymore in the womb. Like, it's held it there. It's done its job. But now it's holding this human back because there's no room for it to grow anymore. There's no room for it to move. So it leaves. It exits the womb and is born out into the world. That's similar to this card. So it's like we were in a place perhaps that supported us and we grew there and it was right for us at the time. And now we might find some of us that we're feeling restricted, that we've got no room to grow here. We've got no room to become more of ourselves. Now, it could be restrictions that we're placing on ourselves. It could be our own self-doubt, our own insecurities, our own fear of stepping out of the comfort zone, even though the comfort zone might be dark and gloomy and depressive. So another way I like to think about this particular card is like if let's say a plant grew in a box, we could say it was a glass box, and this plant grew, it had room in there, it was growing, and then it got so big that it was crammed in this box and it couldn't grow anymore and its branches were becoming twisted and it was turning on itself. This card is about breaking the box away now and letting the branches stretch out beyond the limitations of this box. So where are you feeling restricted and held back? I recommend, if you've got the healing energy cards, go straight to card 41 and keep it close by for the next 24 hours, especially if you're going on the healing journey with me on Monday, and especially if this resonates with you personally. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back again in about 24 hours for the next 4 days to go video. So enjoy your day and I'll see you soon. Bye.